And now, speaking about the shoulder surgery, I'd like to share with you things that I did post-surgery. You're going to need to sleep in an inclined position. It won't be possible to lie flat because the potential to roll over will be so natural to do that. I mean, you can bolster up some pillows, but you will need to sleep in an inclined position, so be prepared for that. You might have a lot of large pillows that are on an incline, and you could do it that way. Make sure that you are kind of getting familiar with knowing that you'll need to do that, or practice before the surgery a couple of nights, and then you have that habit in place. The other thing is make sure you get your surgeon's report. The surgeon's report will tell you exactly which areas were, of course, operated on, and also get your MRI so that you can show that to whomever your healthcare provider is afterwards, whether it's a kinesiologist, physiotherapist, osteopath, or all of the above, which is, by the way, what I'm doing. I'm using all three. And that will help you to know that your practitioner to know exactly which muscles that you need to strengthen and which muscles you need to stretch. For 6 weeks post-surgery, you're going to need to keep the sling on. You're going to need to stay immobile. Really important that there's not any pull on the joint, on the ligaments, on the muscles. So you don't want to have any strain. You want this area to be airtight so that you don't have to use it. The other thing is elicit support before the surgery. So what you can do is send out an email to your tribe, to your family, to your friends, to your coworkers, and say, okay, I'm getting surgery done, and can you make meals for me? It's great. It's kind of like having a slow party. So you have people bring a meal a day, and then you have that ready. They might bring them ahead of time, and then you have them in the freezer, and then you just take the soup out and heat it up. It's going to be very difficult, for example, to even open a jar. So even if you have prepared foods, it's almost impossible to open up a jar, unless of course you have a housemate or a partner that can help you. But if they're not home, you might try to use your hand. You can't. So you're not going to have any grip strength because all of the muscles that are connected here go down into the muscles that go into the forearm. So you want to make sure that you have no concerns about food, that everything is ready. The food that you eat, you want to be a little bit higher in protein at this time. Normally your protein intake would be 15 to 20%. You could go up to 25%. Now, I can't say that as a science. You really need to know for yourself if you need to go up to that. But I know for me that it helped a lot to have a higher protein intake because the tissue is repairing. The main thing that's repairing is the collagen, and that starts to happen at the 4 to 6 week mark. What is collagen? Collagen is what makes up all of your tissue. It's like little cross bridges, and the resting period is so important for the collagen to rebuild. And so you want to make sure that there's no strain, there's no stress. You're not thinking about how quickly you can get back to work or family stress. Really schedule that 6 weeks off as a vacation, because a lot of your energy, your life force, your prana, your chi is going to be going into recovery. It's going to be going into needing to sleep. Sleep is critical. Make sure that you get enough sleep, as much sleep as you need. Make sure also that, I just want to speak a little bit about pain. There's a kind of pain that will be natural, of course, after the surgery, and it will be very intense. It's that what I've noticed about pain is if you feel the pain and then you go to reach for a painkiller or something to help with the sensation, is it's like you're trying to get rid of the pain. But the pain is actually good. It means that there's rebuilding going on. So maybe it's actually just discomfort. Maybe it's unpleasant. Maybe it's unfamiliar. Maybe you feel fearful about it. If you can embrace that there's going to be a lot of collagen rebuilding, it kind of feels like Santa's workshop is going on inside the tissue. And if you embrace that, it's almost like birth. When you're giving birth, if you had any idea what was going to happen, you wouldn't do it. And you would be terrified of the incredible pain that you're in. I digress. But if you recognize that there's going to be a lot of pain, you'll be like, okay, good, things are working. The tissue is rebuilding. So keep in mind that the collagen fibers are rebuilding up your protein. Also, and this is where you would consult with a dietitian, a registered dietitian, to discover what would be the vitamins that you need to take. When I did that, I found out it was zinc. And this is the vitamin C that I used. It's called liposomal C2000. It's made by NACA. And I found this one to be really good. It's highly absorbable, and it was $50. However, it's 80 servings, and I got this just from a great health food store. So do find out what you need to add to your diet to make sure that you have fantastic nutritional support for the tissue that's rebuilding. And remember, you're an architect at this time. You're building a joint. You've got a new joint. So you want to be dedicated to this 6-week period of getting rest, proper nutrition, lots of fluids, and again, just making sure you schedule that time off at least 6 weeks, that you don't have to take on something heavy, some major project. So educate your family, friends, coworkers that this is going to be a time that you are taking off, or that you're doing much less, or you're working from home. You'll find again that you can't use the hand very well. You can type, by the way, so you can do computer work and texting and all that stuff. However, as much as possible, again, dedicate this time to resting. Treat it like a mini vacation. Again, when you feel pain, know that that means that there's recovery. There's rebuilding going on inside the tissue. It's going to be part of the journey. Can we pause? I just have to think if there's